Welcome back to the Unlimited podcast. Today we have a very special guest, somebody that brings a ton of energy and love. She's a mother. She brings a whole new perspective to the hobby. MamaBreaks is in the house. I appreciate you coming out.
Thank you so much for having me, Cassius. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to chop it up with you a little bit. We've ran into each other a couple times over there at Frank and Sons. The hobby just brings people together always. I mean, that's such an amazing part of it, and I've met so many cool people, including you. So I appreciate you coming out. You weren't always in the trading card industry, right?
I was a middle school teacher.
A middle school teacher? That's the best. The middle school, my favorite teacher ever was my middle school teacher. My middle school history teacher was like the best. Miss Gerfin, sweetest lady. She put up with me when I was just the worst.
There is no such thing as bad kids, but to me, middle school is the time you get them at their best.
You started off, being a middle school teacher, and how long did you do that for?
So essentially, throughout my whole life as an adult, I've had different jobs and different careers.
Yeah.
That's something I decided to do once I had my first son. So I did it for a few years, and when I was teaching from home is where I found cards.
Right.
And very quickly, I just got really, really into it, really passionate about it. And it seems like it happened so fast now that I look back, but I was very, very much setting goals for myself and saying, hey, this is something that could be possible for me to do, and I'm interested in it. Right. I didn't go to business school.
Yeah, either.
I didn't know anything about starting a business, and I thought to myself, I see people breaking online and opening patch online and making money and creating a business. My first intention really with all of this was just to do it on the weekend.
Yeah, a little side hustle, some extra money, something you like that you're clearly enjoying. Yeah.
And I really love teaching, and I thought that having like a 9-to-5 job as a teacher was perfect for this. So something I could do like Saturday and Sunday nights when I put my kids to bed.
Right.
And all the money, hopefully, that I would have made, because I didn't make any money at the beginning.
Yeah, of course. Nobody does. Anytime you start a business, you're not making money.
My idea was to make a little money so that I could buy some big cards for myself, because that's kind of where I was when I started collecting. I was like, dude, I really want these big cards,
Right.
but I need to figure out how to make some money to buy them, and that's kind of where all this stemmed from.
You kind of have a foundation in trading cards, right? Did Pokemon catch for you? Or did Yu-Gi-Oh hit? That's where it kind of started for me was Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. What did it look like for you?
So look, I watched TV every single day, going home right after school and watching Pokemon. Waking up early on Saturdays to watch Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, that was my childhood. And when I found the cards, it was mostly because we saw kids at school have the cards. And then even the area I grew up in, South Central LA, card shops didn't exist. Or I didn't know what a card show was. So I started seeing some kids at school here and there bring some Pokemon cards to school. And I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
And I was the kid at school then begging my mom to take us. It took us 2 buses to get to the mall.
Right.
And they had a Toys R Us.
Okay.
Is the only place
Where you could get trading cards.
but we could get Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards later when my brother got more into them. But I was the kid that was like, okay, I'm gonna get a couple packs and I'm gonna see what I get and then go to school and trade for the ones I want.
Isn't that crazy how back then you had to take 2 buses, which probably took your whole day to go get Pokemon cards, and now you can just take your phone out and buy something in TikTok shop while you're watching Cash Cards Unlimited stream live, or MamaBreaks stream live. It's crazy to think how much more passionate about something you had to be in order to really do it. I was fortunate to have a shop in my hometown, multiple shops actually. Like, there was a shop that did more Yu-Gi-Oh on one side of Simi Valley, and I don't remember what it was called, and it's not there anymore, but that's where I really went hard with Yu-Gi-Oh. And then when I found Magic the Gathering at the store I told you about earlier, Hidden Fortress, shout out to Hidden Fortress, love those guys. They're still there today and thriving. But when I found that, that was like my home base. Like, I would ride my bike, I think it was 6-7 miles from my house. I would ride my bike to the card store and sit over there all day, just waiting for somebody to come in and play Magic with me. So having that in my hometown was I think a lot more special than people realize, because not everybody's hometown have shops.
No, I mean, even me. So when I started doing it, I started Googling card shops close to where I live. And still, it was like 20 minutes away, but obviously I'm adult and I can drive now. So
Yeah.
I go to A&N Collectibles, and that was the first shop I was able to, kind of learn more about
And where it
cards.
started for you a little bit. Would you say that some of your skills in teaching have translated over to breaking and running your businesses?
100%. I'm very fortunate that my parents have always very much challenged me to think about everything I was doing. So even before teaching, when I worked at Costco, and before Costco, when I worked as a teacher's assistant, my parents always challenged me mentally to think like, what are the skills that I'm learning in this job, and be very self-aware and reflective of that. And I
Yeah.
think it's all helped me get to where I am today, especially being a teacher during COVID and having to get over that fear of putting your face on a camera and having all kinds of kids just watching you
Right.
and expecting to learn things from you and expecting in a lot of ways to be engaged. There was no way
Have to entertain them, yeah.
I could figure out how to keep the kids engaged in school and do well if I wasn't able to kind of like translate this excitement about, I was an English teacher, so I was able to translate this excitement about literature and reading and writing online was one of the hardest things I had to do
Oh, because you were doing it during COVID.
during COVID.
Oh man, that's crazy. Because my little brother, he was in high school during COVID, and I was like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know how you could. Like, I couldn't pay attention sitting in a classroom. Like, you couldn't get me to stay engaged. But like, you're telling me I'm at home. I got my TV. I got my gaming console. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you did it. Yeah, that was probably quite a challenge right there for sure.
It was a challenge, but it taught me everything good about what breaking is essentially that. It was like being a teacher and me trying to figure out ways of actually getting the kids to be excited to come to class. And we did different things like I promised them if they did a certain quiz by a certain time, we would play Among Us together.
Okay.
Or we had like our own Spotify playlist for every period. And then we would do like different chat activities where we would ask silly questions, and everybody had to wait until I said fire, and we'd do like a fire chat where everybody's writing their responses. And this to me was like really crazy.
It's very similar to breaking for sure.
Yes.
Very similar.
But in a lot of ways, like I was so nervous to do it at the start. And once I did it and I realized how fun it was, it's kind of like breaking too.
Yeah.
And you're creating a community.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean,
Creating a
those
place where the
classes-
kids want to come back every day. That's why I always say teachers make the best breakers.
Teachers make the best breakers. We got any teachers that want to sign up for and be a breaker for Cash Cards Unlimited? Where are you guys at? All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about your family. MamaBreaks is obviously a part of your brand, and you have brought your personal life into your business, which I think is also very brave. How has that looked for you and your family? First off, how many kids do you have? How long have you known your husband and been with your husband? Tell us a little bit about your family.
I've been married for 7 years and I have 2 little ones, 2 boys,
2 boys?
4 and 6.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. My son's 6.
Nice.
Yeah, what are their names?
Lucas and Elias.
Lucas and Elias. I like those. Great names. Very strong names. And do they come on stream with you sometimes?
Sometimes, and it's not because I want them to like have their own videos or do anything like that. I think when I started this, being a mother was very much everything about me, and it was my identity in a lot of ways.
Right.
So it's what drove me to become a teacher at that point. Like I quit my previous job because I wanted a job that I can spend more time with my kids with. So I started in being a teacher in that way. So when I actually started deciding to collect, I was always looking for more things I could do with my kids.
Right.
And even now I am the same way, right? I told you this earlier, like I want to think of things that I can do with them besides just going home and watching TV every night.
Yeah.
It's like, can we play Magic the Gathering together?
Yeah.
Can we buy, sell, trade cards with each other? Can we learn about a Lego? Can we do a Lego set?
Legos are awesome. I love doing Legos with my son.
Because to me, the biggest reason why I'm so close to my stepdad growing up is because he always did the things he loved with us.
Right.
So I think that's super important. As a parent, I think our biggest worry is always like, how do I spend more time with my kids?
Of course.
And it becomes hard when you're like forcing yourself to do things that they like.
Yeah.
Which is part of the relationship,
You have
right?
to do it though.
You have to
do it. Yeah, like my son loves to he's an anime character. Whatever anime he's obsessed with, like that's who he is in his mind. So like sometimes he just loves to go in the backyard and like pretend fight, you know, with like his swords and stuff. Like we're going through levels and bosses and stuff. And it's fun, but like man, when I'm tired at the end of the day, like I don't want to, but it makes him so happy. I'm like, dude, you gotta do it.
I think a lot of the ways if you teach them what you love, even when if they don't love it when they're kids, they grow up and then appreciate everything that they learn from those experiences.
Right.
That's how I kind of, as an adult, have learned. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't always the most fun to like change the oil with my stepdad, but now, as you grow up, you realize we had a lot of great conversations when we were doing that. And
He's a big car guy.
no,
No.
it's
You just like come change the oil.
he's
with
just
it.
the guy that
At least
thinks
you know
that
how to
you
change
should.
oil.
Kind of. He's just the guy that thinks that you should do things on your own, or at least should know how to do things on your own.
I would agree with that. I wish I was more that way. Do you and your kids open cards together? You guys
We
packs at all?
we do. That's the one thing that we do together is we open cards a lot together.
Okay.
But as far as the business goes, I'm like trying to keep it as separate as possible because I think at this point, because you know how it works, like at the beginning, it's very, you got to be very focused and we're building and it takes a lot of time and emotion from everyone involved. So I think slowly now that we're building a team and have more people to help me with things that I wasn't able to necessarily have happen before, I can integrate them a little bit more.
Right.
But we do enjoy it. I don't imagine my kids are gonna be on stream anytime soon.
Yeah.
My husband decides not to.
No, yeah,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
I think streaming is like my son is like I want to stream, daddy. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm
But
like,
what does he want to stream?
he anything like he likes Pokemon.
Okay.
He likes Pokemon mainly. I think he likes Magic cards. He likes Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like he just likes the cool art and stuff. And he's very social, so he just wants to get on there and like talk to the chat and you know what I mean. Like this is show off all of this cool stuff. So it's you know I don't think I'll have my son doing streams anytime soon either. But it is fun to have him pop in and like get to you know share some time with your family with like your community because you know when I go on stream, man, like it is a community and I'm super grateful to all the people who come in and show love and like come and sit and watch
100%.
you know sit and hang out with me, you know what I mean, just to have 50 people that are down to come kick it with you for you know 4 or 5 hours is really cool, you know. So letting them see me be a father is really cool. And like majority of the time the response from the chat is like, oh, that's sick, like you know, good job, Cash. And I'm always like thanks. Like I love being a dad. So what was the first product or first hit that you pulled that like really got you, you know? What was that moment where you knew like, all right, this is kind of a thing for you?
At this point, I think once I knew it was a thing for me, I hadn't hit anything good at that.
Okay.
But I was already really into it, and I remember really, really wanting to open an optic blaster, and I got it in the mail, and I pulled the Joe Burrow rated rookie pink.
I love when somebody wants a card, like they want you to pull a certain card and you pull it for them.
Oh yeah.
That's the best. You know, we have these repacks that we sell in our streams are called Relics Awaken, and sometimes when people are like after you open them, you'll pull something, and I'll be like, oh, I've been really wanting that card, like I needed that, you know, and that just makes me feel so much more happy because I know they're gonna take that card, they're gonna put it in their deck, and every time they play the card, they're gonna think about how, you know what I mean, they pulled it in our stream. So it's just, you know, another part of that like community building thing. Yeah, it's really cool. But when did it occur to you that like, all right, this is something that I'd like to continue to build, this is something that has, you know, real potential as a business for you to, you know, more than a side hustle? Like when did it become like, oh, I want to really create a legitimate business and do this full time?
I think it wasn't necessarily just a want on my part. Like that was very helpful in building my confidence, right? So I started doing it on the weekends. I started doing social media, and then I started getting invitations from companies to do content.
Right.
Most importantly, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
You know, obviously I started my own business too, so I know how good that is, and I'm sure you're super proud of the progress you made. Listen, guys, if you do not already follow MamaBreaks, you need to go follow on all the socials on Instagram, TikTok, She's on Fanatics Live. That's where you stream mostly, right? Guys, go check it out. I popped into her streams and it's a good time, man. She really has, you could feel the passion while she's in there. And it's just awesome, man. So go show some support for Mama Breaks. Speaking of the community, we have a rewards program with our website, cashcardsunlimited.com. If you guys go on there, you can get all types of rewards for everything that you buy, whether it's Magic the Gathering, sports cards, Pokemon, whatever. You get rewards for every purchase that you make. Go check it out, cashcardsunlimited.com. First off, let's just talk about Fanatics and Fanatics Live. Like, what they've been doing over the last 2 or 3 years has been incredible.
I felt very involved in the process from the beginning, just from getting my ideas on things that I'd like to see and feedback. They're always asking for our feedback. They really appreciate us and what they do as companies. So I think that in itself has been something really great that they've done. Just the idea of having more experiences with these athletes, I think, is something that they're going to work on. Like, I don't know if we remember that Wemby part, the redemption for his first ever on card autograph. The crazy part about this is that I actually pulled one. They tied in a different experience by complete surprise.
Yeah.
They didn't tell anyone that they were going to do that.
Did you go?
No, I sold mine. This is the actual truth, okay? At that point, it was about a month before I decided to go into an office for the first time. And I was so scared.
Oh, to have your own,
To pay rent for an office.
Right.
So ultimately, I had this ticket for $5,000. So if I sold it that day on eBay, I
Okay.
would have gotten $5,000 for it.
Right.
And I figured in that moment, this is what's going to help me feel better about going into an office where I have to, it would have essentially paid for a few months of rent.
Yeah. Okay. So
It would have paid for a few months of rent. I sold it. I was good. I was excited.
Yeah.
I made the jump. I've paid for an office. We haven't looked back, right? But a few months later, when they announced it,
Yeah.
those were selling for like $10K.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the money that you made at that time like really helped you.
Really
So
helped
like
me.
yeah.
So that's the cool thing about like
Yeah.
cards is that you can never feel bad about selling when it helps you with something. When it helps
Yeah.
you buy a car,
Of
helps
course.
you
Of
pay for
course.
something.
The only time I feel bad is when I hear people who, have these crazy collections and they sold them like years ago and now
Yeah.
they're just looking at it and just God, I just
usually
feel for
ask-
those people so
I
bad.
usually ask them though, like, did it help with something? Like most recently, someone who I just hired actually told me that he sold 286 Fleer basketball hobby boxes when he was 18, and he sold them for $3K a piece at an auction, and he used it to buy his first car.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, the fact that you can do this type of stuff with trading cards,
Yes.
is really, really, really cool. Like, I know people who have bought their first homes with trading cards by liquidating the collections. I mean, it's. I think that's probably the coolest part to. Well, not the coolest, but one of the coolest parts about the hobby is that you're not just wasting money. Like you're getting you're getting assets in return, and if you do it the right way, like if you collect smart, then like one day you can really help yourself, help your family. Like it's something that you get joy from no matter what. And then at some point in time, like if you really need the money, like it's there and it's very liquid. So I mean, that's crazy. That's a really interesting story. Okay.
I
Yeah.
sometimes think like even in itself the experience would have been awesome because
Yeah.
the redemption was essentially they paid for you to go to San Diego to
San
San
Antonio.
Antonio, and then they revealed that he was going to be there. So even if you
Mm.
didn't get the unique my first auto,
Yeah.
you got a picture with him.
Yeah,
And you
which
gotta meet
is-
him,
yeah,
which is
sick.
awesome.
Yeah, which is dope too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another question, and I think, and I get this a lot of times, and being a parent and running a business, it's a lot. It's a lot to balance, and you were talking about it earlier how you were having basically had you were had a side business, you had your full-time job, you were a full-time mom. How do you balance all of these things? Like how do you keep things, how do you prioritize everything? Like how do you keep things balanced? I mean, for me, it's the business is easy to have my kids around, so like I can always have my son with me.
Yes.
which is an amazing thing. But like, what does it look like for you? You know, how do you maintain that balance?
I think if I'm being honest, haven't been the best at it, but I've now been learning that integration is the most important thing.
Yeah.
It isn't so much a balance, but it's how you bring them both together.
Right.
So it's like, how can I figure out how to bring my kids to work
Right.
and have them there because that also teaches them so much and
Yeah.
it helps them experience so much. How can I bring them on trips with me? How can we do this together?
Mhm.
How can I set up my schedule so that I very gratefully still am able to take them to school and pick them up every day and do a jiu-jitsu practice twice a week.
Oh, your kids are in jiu-jitsu too? My son's in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, good.
So it's integration. I think to me is less balanced because sometimes the business needs you for whatever reason.
Of course.
But figuring out how to build a team where you have to do less of that and kind of just build to integrate.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense because like, you know, when I bring Cash in here, he loves coming to HQ. Like I'll pick him up from school and he'll ask me like, can we go to HQ today? Partially because, you know, like my little sister works for the company and her boyfriend works for the company, and like his Gigi, which is like his second grandmother, is one of our founders and stuff. So he just comes here and it's like family, but you know, he runs around, he joins the people's streams and stuff. So it's a beautiful thing, like that integration, to be able to just bring your kids and have your family around and stuff. So yeah, I like that. It's not as much, it's more about the integration than the balance. I want to get into, you know, I think this is kind of like a hot topic lately, you know, and not just in trading cards, but in collectibles and you know, just nerd culture in general, like women in the hobby. It is happening.
Yep.
It is happening. I mean, 100%. I'm sure when you were getting into it, it was not nearly as common. More common, I'd say 5 years ago, it was like not the craziest thing, but it was still very uncommon. Whereas now it seems like, you know, in the Magic space, there's a lot of women. Pokemon, I think women, you know, love Pokemon because they're adorable.
Yeah.
But even in the sports card space, like there are a whole lot more women in the hobby just in general, and I think it's been awesome. You know, I mean, women are the best. You know, it's definitely better having them around than not.
I agree.
You know,
I just feel I have the same question too. It's like, I think Pokemon has done it first, right? I think all trading card sectors can learn so much from Pokemon. They're the first to really like gender neutralize it.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool for guys to like it and it's cool for girls to like it. Whereas like in sports cards, there's just this common conception that like women don't know sports. And to me, it's like, why do we have to gatekeep and why do we have to put rules on enjoyment?
Yeah.
It never makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I think personally, as much as I love baseball, I've met so many men in my life who I think don't know shit about baseball.
Right. I mean, I honestly don't know. I don't know anything.
Why is there have to be like, why can I, for example, what's something I don't really like to watch? Basketball.
Okay.
Basketball to me has never been my favorite sport.
Right.
But if I go to a game with my husband, I can still enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just like, am I not supposed to go to games because I don't know basketball well? It doesn't make sense to me. So I can't collect basketball cards.
What I'll say is like, most people know nothing about the sport that they really enjoy. Like, I know people who are crazy football fans and they know nothing about the game of football. Like, they know absolutely nothing, and you don't have to, because it's entertainment. It's fun to watch whether you know what's going on or not. And you know what, in a lot of instances, in my experiences, where everybody's having a good time, like we're watching this, let's say it's a Super Bowl party, right? You know, everybody's got their girl, their wives, you know, whatever, everybody's watching it, they're having a good time. Those women have no idea. Not all of them. Some of them do. Like, my mom knows ball. She's been watching it her whole life. But like, most of those women don't know what's going on. If they say like it's this type of penalty or this thing happened or that thing happened, they don't, you know, they don't know. But it doesn't matter. It's still fun and still entertaining.
You can still be a fan of the sport.
100%.
I truly believe that. So I think that's where, like, I think for many years, you know, it's maybe, I don't know who exactly, but there's this conception that, well, you know, since I don't know basketball cards that well, that's why I don't collect them, kind of thing, and kind of pushing us off and gatekeeping us. And now with social media, it goes, oh no, MamaBreaks loves baseball cards. I can too. I don't. It doesn't, to me, if you're having fun, if you love it, even if you think the designs look amazing, you don't have to know every play and every sport to enjoy the sport. Like I said, so many people, even men, don't. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Cards are fun, whichever way you decide to collect. There is no right or wrong way.
Yeah. I agree.
So hopefully more women keep showing. I think there have always been plenty of female collectors.
Yeah.
I think just in the social media space, we're just starting to see more women become more comfortable
Talking
showing
about it.
themselves and talking about it and building, brands over cards.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to continue growing. So our job, those of us that are starting it, I can think of so many other women. But
Shout out a couple of them. I like to shout out other creators, in our show. Talk about some other female creators that you really enjoy.
Laura Don Diego, big Pokemon
Yep, she's
brand.
great.
She's
Yeah.
amazing. Breaks with Jess Minio.
I know Jess is awesome.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to my friends. Those are my close friends.
Yeah.
But it's been a wild journey, and I do see a lot more women continue to be, proud of themselves and show it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes too, in case you're a woman that's watching or a little girl that's watching, I think sometimes we can maybe get in our heads too much about the small negative comments. I think it's important to realize that those small negative comments seem loud, but they're a minority. Because the majority of people do enjoy it and enjoy to see people enjoying things authentically, even though they're not loud about the positivity or they're not loud about the comments.
Right.
For me, for example, I'm not going to sit and comment on everything that I like and enjoy, but I'm more likely to comment on the one thing that I don't really like, right?
Yeah.
It's weird how our minds work that way. When you see people and those negative comments seem loud, just remember they're the minority. So it's a lot less than you think it is.
That is great advice.
So do me that favor.
Yeah, that's great advice. Well, listen, I think that having more women in the hobby is so incredibly healthy for the hobby in general. I think it'll be a big component in seeing the continued growth, because it has been so male dominated, so you got a whole, the whole other side of humankind that's kind of coming into it, which is really exciting. And yeah, I mean, we'll see how many more women creators get created over, come out over the next 10 years.
And business owners.
And business owners too,
Yes.
yeah. And I think, that's another very underrated part about the hobby is that it can be a side hustle for you. It can be a way for you to help your family. And when you're in it, you really enjoy it, So there's just so many opportunities. You meet great people. You get to have fun in the hobby. Just like, there's just so many great advantages to the hobby. It's, I don't know. Obviously we both love it. So we're a little bit biased, but it's a good time. And, speaking about, all that stuff, women in the hobby, what's the future for MamaBreaks look like? Like, first off, what's the future for you and your brand personally? But like, how do you feel about where the hobby is now and where do you see it going over the next like 5 to 10 years?
I'm really excited about where the hobby is now. I feel like we're going in a lot of different directions right now, especially this year. It feels kind of crazy and trying to navigate even just building a business in this space. But I think for me personally, I'm very convicted in my values. I'm very set upon doing this because I love it. So me personally, I can only speak for myself personally. I'm very excited about continuing to do this in the way that I love it with people that I love, for collectors.
Yeah.
Like, collecting is what makes me happy. I want to figure out how to get more people involved in cards and also experience the same happiness that I do. So I think I want to continue breaking as much as possible, and I want to do more for the community. And I think a big part of that is creating a card shop, building a card shop. So that's something that's on my mind and my radar.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but the idea is set. And then just things like this, content driven, maybe a podcast soon. As much as I can do to make people happy with cards, that's where I'm going.
We like to do this rapid fire round, towards the end of each of our episodes. I'm just going to ask you random questions and whatever comes to mind, you know what I mean? Quick answer.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just have some fun with it. This is one of my favorite parts. It's the easiest one for me because I literally just read the question. So first card you ever pulled that made you scream?
Joe Burrow, pink optic.
The Joe Burrow, the one we talked about earlier.
Rated rookie. Yep.
Yeah, it's sick. Favorite product to rip right now?
Has to be Star Wars Sapphire, the new one.
Ooh, okay. NBA, NFL, or MLB, what's your go-to sport?
MLB baseball.
Baseball. Biggest hit you've ever seen pulled in one of your breaks?
I would say most recently we pulled the Juju Watkins Papadasha 1/1. I got a PSA 10 and did like 11.5 at auction.
Okay.
We've had bigger sales than that, but well, I guess we pulled the Darth Vader Superfractor 1/1 at a Galaxy Chrome at a card show. So it wasn't necessarily breaking.
Yeah.
But that one ended up doing like 24.6 on auction. Yeah.
That's a big card. That's a big card. Okay, sick. Dream athlete to have join one of your live breaks?
Oh, I hate those questions because I'm terrible around athletes. I'm such a nerd and I choke up, but Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw? Okay. Yeah. Great
Yeah.
picture. What's more stressful, teaching middle school or running a live stream?
Teaching middle school. Live stream, whichever which way, like it's cards and I can shut it off.
Yeah. I can't shut down middle school kids, that's for sure. One word your community would use to describe MamaBreaks?
Passion.
Okay, I like that
Passionate.
answer. Last up, we have what's one piece of advice you would give to someone ripping their first pack?
Have fun. Don't forget to have fun.
It is about the fun.
Period.
Yeah.
Try to forget about the value for a second and try to just remember that this is supposed to be fun.
All right, well, that's all I had for you. I really appreciate you coming out. It was awesome getting to hear more about your story and hear about, just get to know you a little better. I think it's amazing what you've been doing, and you've got a fan in me. I'll definitely be here supporting, and we're both in LA, so
Yep.
We got to do more stuff to build up the community and do some more collabs in the future. But listen, guys, if, like I said earlier, if you guys are not already following MamaBreaks, go support her, check her out. She's also on YouTube as well, right? She's on YouTube, she's on TikTok, Instagram, all the social media platforms, and she's streaming on Fanatics Live 7 days a week, guys. Go check her out, show her some love, support her business. Yeah.
And thank you for everything you do.
No, I
all the
appreciate it.
people that you've brought over, and even in the magic sector, like bringing them over to sports and stuff, it's huge. I think both categories need to work together a lot more because it's all same.
It's all the
Cardboard.
same. It's all the same, but they are two totally different
same
worlds,
but not,
man.
But different.
Yeah.
But I think we could appreciate each other at least.
For sure.
Yes.
And it's getting better. Like the crossovers are happening a lot more often. So it's really cool.
So thank you for everything you do and thank you for having me.
Thanks, MamaBreaks. Appreciate it.